So today on Orcify Everything, we're going to take a look at the Big Ed Boss Bunka. So this thing was a bit of a pain in the butt to get, mainly because, for whatever reason, Games Workshop decided we're not going to give it to our local gaming stores. You have to order it online. I have been bugging my friend Kenny for better part of a month now to try to get it for me, but he kept saying, no, I can't get it because they won't sell it to us. So, I decided to make an order with Games Workshop. I also got the limited edition version of Wolf Time, as well as the limited edition version of the last Octarius book with all the orc stuff in it. And, well, we're going to see what the heck this thing is, because for the life of me, I'm not expecting much. The only other thing I've ever done in terms of orc terrain has been the mech shop, and that didn't go over as well as Game Workshop, I think, wanted it to. There was something about fortifications and whatnot back in, late 7th, early 8th, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we can make a whole bunch of buildings. Great. As a terrain piece, it's neat, and as a diorama piece, it's great. But, like I said, it just didn't go over well, at least in my local game store. So, looking at this thing, it's exactly kind of what I expected. It's just a large, hollow thing. Looks like it has some additional bits for, like, that's the stick bombs and bullets. You got a, what looks like a banner for probably some sort of totem or whatever. There's an extremely large big shooter here, like 2 sizes too big, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I don't remember ever seeing one that looks like a Vickers that's so large. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, there's a banner. Yes, this thing looks like it's super simple to build because mainly it's just big chunky pieces that you slap together. And then 2 extra little throw-in pieces of terrain. My main interest in buying it was the fact that it's supposed to be the size of a Gargant in terms of the head. I think it's kind of small. Mainly because a lot of Gargants that I see are the equivalent of, like, dressers. I mean, there are some places that you go to that have mega battles, like over by me, they're DexCon when they do have it. Downstairs, they tend to have an area that's just like a throwdown of, I guess it's more like felt, like green felt. And then they add, terrain features and whatnot. And they do a pretty good job of having gigantic battles. They even have, like, a gigantic Flyers battle, everything like that. But, yeah. It's, it looks a little small to me. I really don't know of any Gargants that are... Basically, this almost looks like the size of the heads for maybe the Godbuster that Cromlech put out. But first I thought there was no numbers here, but there are. They're very small. It's not like a normal GW kit where they're just right there. You kind of have to look for them. So the good thing about these big terrain pieces is that they don't really need much cleanup. Everything that you kind of clip off of them, it tends to be hidden in the build, which is nice. to figure this out. Get the other piece. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to figure out why my document camera is not focusing. Hopefully that's gotten better now. Reached one. Right. So when I build stuff, I tend to use, if it's plastic, I will use plastic glue. I do not suggest using super glue unless you're in a pinch, or like, you know, if you're at a tournament and you're like, oh, the arm just fell off. Because super glue is a mechanical bond and it will fail eventually. It will always fail. Especially if it's cold, because that's how you kind of take apart old metal models, is that you throw them in a freezer for a day or two, and next thing you know, you can just kind of move the arm and it pops right off. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my favorite, which is I don't think they make it anymore, unfortunately, but it's Model Masters liquid cement for plastic models. I've had success with the Tamiya stuff as well, but I'm not a big fan of it because I don't like brush on. Come on, you get. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Oopsie. So yeah, I may have gone a little mad with that. Try it again. Take this glue. Put it right there. Now you do have a working time with plastic glue, which I like, versus super glue. There we go. You just can't get too crazy with taking it on and off, because it'll make these strands of plastic as you keep pulling it on and off and adjusting it. And later on, when you go prime, if you don't see these things, they look kind of like cobwebs. And you wonder, why is everything so fluffy over here? It's because you accidentally left a whole bunch of plastic as strands. Off a little bit here. Apparently there's a flush area right here. That's for the clippers. That doesn't help me. Area. Now, to me, it does make another, or I'm sorry, Testers does make another plastic glue, which I have not used in a long time. It's similar to this stuff, but the tip of it is like a snip-off tip, kind of like most of these super glues that we have. And I cannot deal with it. The steel applicator on the Model Master stuff is very much so superior. It allows for better control, and if it ever gets clogged, you basically take a piece of floral wire, which is really, really thin steel wire. You kind of ram it down there a little bit, and it does tend to clear it out. All right. So I got the back coming up here. Always test fit everything before you commit to glue. Because if you don't, it's going to be that one time when you're basically putting it together and then you realize that something does not fit snugly. And next thing you know, you got a handful of glue and you got 2 parts stuck to you. This is a super, super simple kit. I mean, it's just a terrain feature. There's nothing really too integral about it other than just making a building. So I got 10 and 12. There it is. Now, just like the mech building that was released a while ago, I don't plan on actually using this thing for tabletop purposes. This is solely for aesthetics, something that looks interesting on the board, or if I, decide to do Gorka Morka, I would love to have this as, like some random piece of terrain just sitting on the board, getting in the way of everyone trying to drive around it. Gorka Morka was such a good game, but it was so terrible. I miss it. The fitting of these pieces are really weird. Because it's just, there's a giant riveted, gigantic piece of steel here that's just attached to corrugated. But it's orc, so, what are you going to do? Alright. So we got 13 here. Got 11 here. Now I may go back and actually clean this up a little bit better. But so far all the connection points seem to be pretty good. You don't really have to worry about them in terms of not fitting properly. This one, okay, it's this side. Makes much more sense now. When building these larger structures, you can always be a little more liberal with the amount of glue that you use, but of course, leaving it sopping wet would not be ideal, and you could actually, with plastic glue specifically, you can lose some of the detail. Mostly because it literally melts the first couple of layers of plastic just to adhere it. Interesting. Okay. So apparently there's like a giant gob. But it only adheres to the gob area here. So it's not exactly touching the bottom, but it's Games Workshop. Gotta trust them. They do like my money. Of steel that goes onto the forehead here. Just a little adornment. Ah, I see. That's cause the gob goes on the front. Tie it all together. Come on. Whoop. I like how they there's two different sort of insets for the teeth, so that way you can't screw it up, like you can't have them on the wrong sides. Come on, you get. And now it's all just basically guns and cans of stuff like that. Oh god, there's 4 guns. There's 4 big shooters. Yep, it is. Now I'm just gonna build this thing for, sake of time, but rest assured, I will go back and I will drill out all these barrels, because I've done it for basically all my orcs except for my really, really old orcs, which I still have to go back and do, but I also have to rebase them in the sense of I have a bunch of adapter rings that I got to just sort of super glue onto the base to make it from a 25 to a 32 millimeter. I love this big shoot. It's Titanic. And this is just basically a This looks like a stubba from Necromunda almost. I mean, you cannot tell me that this is not a heavy stubba. Like, at all. There's no way. And this looks similar to the one that's on top of the new Mega Armored War Boss. Oh, okay. They just go anywhere. Well, anywhere in the sense of, okay, there are bars that you attach them to. That's real snug. This is the bulkhead door piece, which is in the back. This is for the Gaza Mork. These are all the power coils that go to the eye. I'm going to snip out this last bit, which is an ammo hopper. It's just kind of, you know, just throw around terrain. Just kind of stuff. There's another one. Megaphones. The boss pole topper. For some reason, more ammunition. Probably goes to one of the guns that I just put on. But I didn't look. Plus there works. They think it has ammo, it has ammo. Alright, screws are clean. Mold line isn't bad on here. So, just take this. So I do have to clean up. Again, they have another this fits only this way sort of built into the wire, which is good. Because I just sit here going, I don't know which way it goes. Not like I wouldn't make it work anyway, because I'm an This is right here, all around, for the gaism work. Make sure you get some glue on that. Otherwise you're holding it to nothing. Alright, there you go. Okay. So apparently there's little holes where the megaphones go, which is actually very helpful because I would have no idea where the heck they would have went otherwise. Nothing better than shouting at the boys. And then that bit goes there. This bit goes somewhere. Look at the instructions. Oh, just slap it somewhere. Yeah, somewhere on the top. Somewhere on the top. Gotcha. Somewhere on the top. I do like when there's a large piece like this to just squeeze a little bit of glue down, spread it around, because you don't need a lot. You just need enough to make sure that the connection is there on the two pieces. All right. Ah, that's where to go. I gotcha. So I found out that these are magazines. We're gonna have to figure out how to make it work. Apparently, I guess there are ways that you can be wrong on this. But you know, it works. Yeah, I get you. There it is. Yeah. It's kind of fast in the same way that if you actually have the Kill Team stuff from Octarius, the Orc terrain, it's that similar sort of quick build. It doesn't need to be perfect like, say, some sort of Imperial terrain or whatnot, because it's Orcs and you can get away. You have a lot of, liberty to just screw it up, and it still look good. But, yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed this, because I sure did. Take care.